Hi, this is Zach here with the US Chartbreakers here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Wednesday, the 14th of May. Starting off with the S&P as usual, and here you can see that we've had the inverted head and shoulders break higher. Neckline at 57.70, which was the March peak, and above that looking for not only the record highs towards 61.50, but actually that resistance line projection shown in red there, that's heading towards 63.30. We're looking for that by the end of next month. On the downside, worst case at the moment is another test of the 50-day line at 55.50, or less dramatic would be the floor of the gap there towards 56.80. Moving along to the Nasdaq, and here the situation is that we've got a market which is mirroring what we're seeing at the S&P. So the gap through, massive gap through neckline resistance, very strange and very unusual and very strong to see a market just gap through a resistance area so quickly and so easily, like a blowtorch through butter. Here you can see we're on our way to the record highs there towards 22,200. That resistance line projection from last July heading for 22,600. That's what we're looking for by the end of next month, or even sooner, while we're above that broken resistance line from back in February at 20,500. Moving along to the stocks, and first on the list is Archer, and here you can see that we're in a rising trend channel. We've been in one since the end of December. Top of the channel there, heading for $16.60. We're looking for that by the end of next month, while we're above recent resistance around the $9.50 area. A couple of RSI rebounds or bounces above neutral 50, giving us extra momentum, hope that we will go higher and do so quickly. Moving on to a stock which we have looked at before, Bakkt Holdings, and here with the gap down back in January, and the gap high now gives us a VirTra pattern reversal. Looking at the top of that rising trend channel base from February's high is $21.10, and looking for that by the end of next month, while we're above the intraday low yesterday around $11.60. A rather more famous name to come next in the form of Coinbase, obviously going great guns at the moment with the move in Bitcoin through $100,000, rising trend channel there since December. Top of the channel there heading for $369. We're looking for that as soon as the end of next month, while we're above a recent resistance on the way down around $232. That compares to yesterday's support, $231.49. One of the joys of charting is when things actually sort of do what you want them to do, which is obviously very nice. Here with Elong, we've exactly filled the gap there at around $6.20. That's what we thought was going to happen here. And basically, while we're above the previous target line there around $4.50, looking for the shares to have a proper end of day close through $6.20 imminently. But that U-shaped turnaround, very impressive indeed. A bit of a cup and handle situation, in fact, and looking for much greater progress than just heading back to $6 or $7. On to a stock which has also behaved itself in a nice way. We've got Icore correct, and what's interesting here is we've got the stock closing above a rising 50-day line after the bear trap gap reversal that we had back in March. Current situation and current view is that while we're above that 50-day moving average at $2, looking for recent resistance on the way down up to $3.60. Obviously, we had the spike yesterday to $4.30. On to a stock which is not quite so familiar, Lichen International, and here, though we got a situation where the shares are attempting to regroup after rather colossal losses. What's interesting here is we've got a U-shaped turnaround, and above that 50-day line, looking for the shares to head back to $12 or $13, top of that gap there, hopefully by the end of next month. So let's see if the shares can step up to the plate. I suppose the best case here is that we head up to the top of that rising trend channel base at $20, but I think probably in the meantime, the best thing is just to assume we can get up to that gap, the top of that gap. Moving along to Landsea, and here another situation where we've got a rising 50-day line near the low of the range. That in this case, that's at $6.57. Above that, looking for the stock to hit the top of that rising trend channel base at $9. by the end of next month. Next on the list is Ming, Shing, and here we've basically got a stock in a range, and rising 50-day line managed to get through recent resistance around $6 above that, looking for the top of the channel towards $10 by the end of this month, so in a couple of weeks' time. Moving on to MicroVast, and here a beautiful rising trend channel, really sharply rising trend channel. Top of the channel there towards $4.20, and we're looking for that while we're above the old resistance there towards $2.80 on an end-of-day close basis. Moving on to the last three. The first one is Planet Green, and here we've got a rising trend channel base. We've broken above recent resistance in the 50-day line, and above recent resistance around $1.80, looking for the top of the channel, $3.55 by the end of next month. Next up is VirTra, and here you can see that bear trap island reversal. We've pushed through old resistance around $5.60 above that, looking for the top of the rising trend channel there, $8.70 by the end of next month, and very nice bullish divergence there. So the lower low for the second half of April, but higher RSI trace giving away the bear trap rebound and the gap that we've had now. Finishing off with stock we haven't looked at before, which is X3 Holdings. Here you can see that we've got this U-shaped turnaround. We've got a rising 50-day line near the low, which is a very impressive one. Above recent resistance around $1.30, looking for the shares to hit the top. That rising trend channel base at $4 by the end of next month, or even sooner. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.